Hello and welcome to another episode of The Holistic Way. My name is Todd Hart and I'm the host of the show. And I'd like to welcome Amy Backlund to the show today. Welcome,
Hello.
Amy.
Thank you.
Abby, sorry, Abby,
okay.
sorry, my apologies.
You got it.
So you're a Reiki practitioner.
I am.
And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? And
Sure. I've been in the wellness and spa industry for, like 16 years now. I started my career more on the management side of things. And 7 years ago, a little over 7 years ago, I opened a day spa on the east side of Providence called Facing Fair Beauty Spa, where we offer skincare, manicures, pedicures, waxing, a lot of kind of the fun side of the beauty and kind of wellness industry. And about 2 years ago, I kind of started to feel like I wanted to do more with my career and go in a direction that was a little bit more holistic and a little bit more wellness-based. And I started exploring Reiki and decided that, working so much hands-on with clients, I very often was finding myself at the end of the day, drained, mentally and physically from all of what I kind of considered giving energy to other people.
Sure.
So I started exploring Reiki almost more as a protection for myself to kind of save my energy and make sure that I was, protecting my own self in the process. I found an amazing teacher and was able to go to Kripalu, which is an amazing facility up in the Berkshires in Massachusetts, and got my level 1 and 2 certification there, and started practicing Reiki on myself and on my family and friends, and just recently have decided to kind of open a separate practice to really focus in more on these holistic kinds of treatments like Reiki, and also offer facial services that are a little bit more, organic and holistic, so that I can have more time with my clients and start introducing this really amazing healing practice to them.
So you have Facing Fair on Thayer Street, which is fantastic. My wife and I are big fans and customers, long-standing. But you're going to start a new place called Breathing Space. Yes,
so I decided to call it Breathing Space for a few reasons. It's kind of a little breathing space for me and for my clients. Thayer Street is amazing, and we have a great clientele there, and I love it. It'll always be, my first love, and I'm going to stay really involved in the business. But I wanted something where I could kind of step away to have a little bit more calm space, quiet space, and change up what I was doing. Like I said, I've been in this industry a long time, and I just felt like it was kind of time for some growth for myself. And I have a lot of really great loyal clients that I think were looking for something a little bit new too. So Breathing Space is going to still be on the east side of Providence. It's going to be located in Richmond Square, which is a beautiful building right on the Seekonk River, and has ample parking, which Thayer Street does not.
Yes, great. It's a great place.
So we're moving in right now and should be opening hopefully the second week of September.
So you'll be offering Reiki there?
Be offering Reiki there. I've been doing Reiki at Facing Fair on a lot of my own clients and in my own personal life, and doing some volunteer work with it. But this will be a little bit more conducive environment, I think, for this kind of practice. I'm still going to be doing facials and body treatments at Breathing Space, and have a little bit more time with clients so that I can extend the treatments and customize them a little bit more. I'm also starting in the fall an Ayurvedic practitioner consultant program through Kripalu.
Oh, wow.
So this is giving me a little bit more time to do that, and that will be another kind of aspect of this that will be hopefully added in within the next year.
I'm very attracted to that.
Yes, and I'll be able to talk a lot more about it once I kind of start the program.
We'll have you back on the show for that. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's get into Reiki. Let's talk about Reiki. What is Reiki?
So Reiki is an ancient hands-on healing practice. Reiki originated in Japan. The word kind of translated loosely means universal life energy. There was a Christian Japanese monk in the late 1800s who kind of rediscovered these Sanskrit texts, and he interpreted them and discovered this healing technique, and just started interpreting it and passing it on to his students. and it's kind of become what we use Reiki for today.
So did he discover something that was practiced centuries before and then it went away?
Sanskrit texts have been around for like literally thousands of years. So he rediscovered some texts and started interpreting them. And what he found was Reiki is the only healing energy work that uses this attunement process. And it's kind of a hard thing to understand until you actually go through it. But going back to this energy,
sure.
Quantum physics today tells us that all of us are made up of energy. Everything around us, plants, people, animals, the table in front of us. None of us are really solid entities. We're all made up of energy.
Sure.
So we all have the capacity to kind of pass on and use this energy. But once a Reiki master educates you and you go through this attunement process, which is a ceremony that I can't go into a lot of detail about, it kind of tunes you in so that all of a sudden you are able to accept and pass this energy a little bit more efficiently and in a healing way.
So are you awakening something in yourself that's already there?
Exactly. So during this attunement ceremony, and there are different levels of it that you go through during your education process, they compare it to almost like the dial on a staticky radio. We all have some of this energy passing through us at all times. We're made up of it. When it gets out of balance in our body, that's when we start having physical, emotional, spiritual imbalance or illness or issues. So the attunement process kind of starts making that dial less staticky so that this energy comes through clearer. The more you practice Reiki, the more you kind of go through your education and understand it more, the more energy you're able to pass on to other people and also to yourself.
Now, do you feel like homeostasis is the balance in your body? Do you feel when you're practicing it, do you feel like you're returning to homeostasis and a form of balance?
I do. The way my teacher described it, which I think is a really great analogy, is when I'm focused in on my Reiki, the energy, and I'm trying to pass it on to someone else, you can almost think of yourself like a straw. And this universal life force is like a milkshake that's being pulled up through the straw. And I'm passing it on to you, but in the process, a lot of that milkshake or that energy is sticking to the straw. So throughout the day, as I'm practicing Reiki, I'm receiving it and I'm putting my own body back into balance. And I have to say, since I've started this and I've had this attunement and I've started practicing it in my own life, I've gone through a lot of life changes, emotionally, physically, spiritually. I'm, knock on wood, healthier than I've ever been. So for somebody who was kind of skeptical, because I feel like I'm a pretty rational person, and this does seem sometimes kind of out there, but when you really think about the fact that energy is all around us, we're all comprised of it, and there are some of us that have just been tuned in a little bit more to kind of pass it on and help other people get that balance back in their body.
Well, Einstein talked about it, right?
Yeah,
it's been, everything is energy.
And there's more and more and more evidence as, we can do more and more with our people who know how to do this, research physics and understand energy better. There's a lot of, correlations that are happening.
Right. So if I have a lower back that's tight,
Yep.
And I do yoga and I do all kinds of things, so how would you, if I came to you and said, I've got tight lower back and it's, maybe mild pain, what would you do? What would the process be?
So, any practitioner you go to for a Reiki session probably has a little bit different practice. There's no one right way to do it. When clients come to see me, you're fully clothed, you're on a comfortable massage type table. And I usually start by talking a little bit to the person about what their intention is for the service. So you tell me about your back, you tell me, where it's bothering you, what you've been doing for it. But what it comes down to is this healing energy, for all the intention that I might have for the service and all the intention that you might have for the service, it works for the body's highest healing good. And what that means is that pretty much your cells and your body are going to decide where this Reiki goes and what it's going to do in your body. So it very well might work on your lower back because that might be the main thing in your body that's out of balance. But there also might be some other physical, emotional, spiritual thing going on that you might not even be aware of yet. So that's going to get some of this balancing energy too. And really what it's going to do is just encourage the cells and encourage the body to start healing itself. So it might not happen like that, but it's speeding up the process. And I've seen it happen for people who, are recovering from injuries that it's happened for them much faster with this process added in. So it's not a replacement for, going to your chiropractor or getting a massage. It's another one more thing that you're doing in addition to the Western medicine.
It'll enhance what you're already doing.
Exactly.
Okay.
And give a lot of comfort. I mean, it can give a really great sense of relaxation. It can ease a lot of those minor pains. Almost always after a session, people tell me they have like the best night's sleep they've ever had.
Wow.
So it really is kind of balancing and calming and bringing the body back to its natural state.
Now, are you bringing in energy that exists somewhere into them?
Exactly.
Or are you,
so this universal life energy, it's infinite and it's everywhere. There's no, it makes up everything in our universe. So it's all around us. It's not being pulled from one specific place or one specific thing. I'm just channeling this so that your body can do what it needs to do with it.
So at some point in our lives, did we get disconnected from this energy? And we're just sort of, you're helping us reconnect to it?
I mean, your body is still made up of it. It's just helping, we get blockages. We could go into kind of the chakras of the body, which I work with. It's not necessary to work with them, but for me, it's a way to kind of guide myself through the session a little bit. But we have blockages in our body, and they can happen because of a physical injury or ailment. They can happen because of an emotional blockage, whether it be something from your past or stress or something you're dealing with
Trauma
right now.
or something.
Exactly. Or it can be something kind of almost a spiritual question or a situation that you're struggling with. So these things kind of block the flow of energy in our body and can make us sick. I mean, we all know, medicine is telling us that stress makes us sick.
Oh, sure.
So this is a way to kind of help bring that balance by kind of bringing that energy flow back through the body.
So if someone comes to you for treatment, what is the normal, is it an hour session?
So in my practice, the way I work it, when I'm doing facials on people, skin therapy, body treatments, whenever I'm touching someone, they're getting some of this energy. When I'm doing an actual Reiki session and I'm very focused and the intention is very focused, personally, I think it's a stronger experience. However, they're always kind of getting some. So I give my clients the option to add an additional 30 minutes of just straight Reiki onto one of their services, or I do 45 minutes or 60 minutes. And during that time, there's no protocol that you go through the way you might, if you're going in for a massage, they kind of hit all the areas.
Is it intuition-based?
It's intuition-based for me at least. And again, I think every person you talk to probably has some of their own things that they work into it. I try to start by getting the client relaxed. I do some breathing techniques. I might do some aromatherapy. I might do some little brief guided meditations. And again, not that that's even necessary, but I think it enhances the experience for myself and for the client.
Sure.
I like to start at the head. The crown chakra it's right at the top of our head, and it's one of the most accessible and kind of powerful energy points in our body.
Isn't that the one that connects you to the...
It's what connects us spiritually. They talk about, in meditation, it's where if you really kind of transcend during meditation, it's where you kind of leave the body. But it's an active energy center. And it's also, who doesn't think a scalp massage is really relaxing? So I usually start kind of doing a gentle scalp massage, just again to bring the client. Sometimes it's a little bit, if you're not used to having someone just kind of touching you, it's nice to kind of ease into it, I think, with a little bit of massage. And then I kind of let the client's body and what I'm feeling guide me. Sometimes I stay still in one position for 30 minutes if I'm really kind of feeling like that there's a connection. Sometimes I move around a lot. I do kind of work with the chakras as they, crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus. Our sacred chakra is kind of right in our abdomen, and then our root chakra. So I kind of follow those because sometimes with emotional blockages, you can kind of sense things around those chakras, which can kind of help guide the session a little bit. But I jump around. If it was your lower back, I probably would spend some time with my hands, right under you, like at the lower back or on the abdomen. But I feel different things. Sometimes I feel nothing. Usually I feel a heat I feel almost like a little magnetic pull or vibration. Sometimes I feel like a little jumpiness in the body that you might not even feel. And clients tell me they feel a lot of those same things. Heat is the most common thing that is felt. And I am a cold hand person, but when I'm doing Reiki, my hands get really, really hot.
Now, are you talking to the client when you're doing it? Are they talking to you?
They can. I invite people usually at the beginning, again, like I said, I invite them to kind of bring up any intentions that they have for the session, what they're hoping to maybe achieve, so that I can focus a little bit on that and meditate into those things. And I invite them, there's no wrong thing to do during a Reiki session. Some people fall asleep. Some people are able to really relax and kind of, let go of their thoughts. Some people have really great kind of revelations during it. And I tell people, go with your thoughts, because they might be trying to tell you something.
Sure.
And if you have something that comes up that you want to talk about, or you feel something that feels either, really great or not comfortable or you're not sure of, let's talk about it. You're not going to like break the break the practice or break the flow if you talk during the session. So I invite people to do what feels natural.
So you don't want them telling you about their summer vacation or anything like that?
They can, though. I was like I was telling you earlier, my dad has been having a lot of back issues lately, and, he's kind of a rough and tough guy who is not so sure of all of this kind of thing. And he was watching golf on the weekend, and I just kind of stood behind him with my hands on his shoulders, and he fell asleep, which is probably not totally uncommon for somebody watching golf on a Sunday afternoon. But he did have some relief from it. So it doesn't have to, you can give Reiki anytime. You can give it to animals. You can give it to babies. You can supposedly do it for plants, which I've never tried. But it's passing energy, and you can do that for any living thing kind of at any time. Is
it possible where it wouldn't work for someone, where they're resisting it, or?
Like I said, it's not up to me, and it's not even really up to the person's thoughts or intentions. It's up to their body.
Okay.
So I guess, if their body's perfectly in balance and there's no need for this Reiki, it might just kind of not do anything.
Right.
But it's not going to hurt. There's no counterindications for it. There's no one who Reiki shouldn't be done on. It's one of those things my teacher just kept saying, it can't hurt and it might help.
Right.
And there's a really good chance it might help.
Right.
And even if it's just an hour out of your day to lay still and let go of your thoughts and not be checking your cell phone, that's going to do something for your body.
That's valuable.
But like I said, I started this journey kind of for myself, to protect myself, and I've seen such amazing things. I've helped someone through chemotherapy. I've worked with people with like major digestion issues and gluten allergies who were trying to heal from that. I've worked with people with emotional issues, and I've seen the results. So it's made somebody who was somewhat skeptical kind of going into this and really unsure of how I was going to use this, or even if I was going to use it with clients, really see that there's benefits to it. And it's a really easy way to kind of add some of these more holistic practices into your life.
So who would you recommend Reiki for? You mentioned someone going through chemo, maybe someone with pain.
One of the ways I was introduced to it is my aunt was going through chemotherapy, and she had, at the hospital where she was having her chemo done, they had volunteers coming into the hospital to do Reiki during these sessions.
Wow.
And she talked about how the weeks that she had it and the weeks that, the volunteer wasn't there, she noticed a marked difference in how she felt, after, and, the sickness that she was experiencing, the, after effects of the chemotherapy were so lessened. So once I kind of started practicing, I continued to work with her, and I think, she would say that it's made a big difference in the, the recovery and the fact that she's healthy today.
Now, obviously a big thing in the news is Robin Williams committing suicide, and a lot of mental health issues, and you see it in social media now. A lot of people are talking about their struggles, and other people are coming out, I don't know if you'd say coming out of the closet with their struggles, but they're coming out with saying, hey, I struggle with this as well. Is that something that people could get benefit from with any kind of mental health issues?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, I don't like to ever say that this is going to be a cure or the one treatment they should do. It should be a supplement to what your doctors are telling you, you should be doing. And for mental illness, it's obviously not the only thing that you should be doing. Right. But it definitely is going to help, again, bring that balance back into the body, which we all need. But I think especially people who are struggling with questions or with emotions or with, this imbalance in their body and their brain, it's going to be really beneficial.
And also blocked trauma or something from childhood that could have triggered all of this.
And a lot of those things, like I said, I've had people say, like, just kind of randomly popping into my head during one of these sessions, an answer that I've been struggling with or a question that I've had it and other people have. And I've had, things kind of pop into my head that I've shared with clients after, and they said, oh my gosh, that's really weird because, that's something that I've been. So little things kind of come up, and sometimes it's just because we're not still in our everyday lives. And the chance to be still and to be accepting and to feel this kind of comfort coming from somebody else and from the universe is a powerful thing for a lot of people.
I'm a big fan of taking time each day of just sitting quietly and listening. It's kind of reflecting on your day, and usually a lot of stuff comes to me when I do that. And I write notes.
I just got back from a meditation workshop, and meditation is a really intimidating thing for a lot of people, and it is for me, and that's why I went, because the idea of like sitting still with yourself for 20 minutes and kind of waiting for something that you think is supposed to happen is intimidating, and it's hard, and it's a struggle for a lot of people, and I think that what I learned is that it doesn't always have to be this big, mystical, serious thing. It can just be being still and letting the thoughts come. And
just watching them.
And kind of dismissing them and being like, okay, thought, I see you, I recognize you, and now I'm going to let you go for a little while. And a lot of things come to us, and I think it gives our body and our brains a chance to, to relax and to heal.
Just want to say a quick note. If anyone has any questions for Abby or for myself or for the show or suggestions for the show, you can send an email to theholisticway@hotmail.com. Also, as a side note, I will be appearing at the Seekonk Public Library on Wednesday, September 10th at 6:30 p.m. And I'll be doing an essential oils workshop. So anyone that's watching the show that's local, you can come down and learn about essential oils and get a chance to meet me and ask questions. So I'm looking forward to that. How does someone become a practitioner? Like, can anyone become a practitioner of Reiki?
Yep, anyone can become a practitioner. Like I said, you need to find a teacher. Kripalu is an amazing resource. Actually, I brought Libby Barnett is my teacher and Reiki master. This is a great book that she wrote, and it's called Reiki Energy Medicine by Libby Barnett and Maggie Babb.
Was she at Kripalu?
She was at Kripalu.
Oh, nice.
She's based in New Hampshire, but she teaches at Kripalu at least once a year, I believe, and I'm going back to have my master level attunement with her this fall. It's a great book because it's even if you don't want to practice Reiki, but you have questions about it, it's a very approachable, solid way to kind of learn more about it. Anybody can become a Reiki practitioner, and even if it's to do Reiki on yourself and your family and your dog and your cat, it's a really great way to just kind of bring this healing process modality into your own life. Once I am a Reiki master, I will be able to attune people to do Reiki on themselves, so hopefully that's something that's coming, and if you have interest in that, you can keep kind of checking back to my website.
You'll be offering a workshop on that, maybe?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's exciting.
But if you're interested in kind of making it part of, if you're a massage therapist, or when I was in my class, honestly, most of my class were nurses, nurse practitioners, hospice workers.
Healing arts, all the healing arts people.
Who, and a lot of them were learning it more to do on each other, because people who are caregivers give so much of themselves, and to kind of get some of this back is really important.
Now, I know when you become a massage therapist, that's a lot of work on your body physically.
Exactly.
Does Reiki have the same, or is it not as?
No, I mean, it's actually healing for my body, and that was one of the, I was at the point in my career where I had been doing, hands-on facials and waxing and using my body for my work on a daily basis, and I was getting worn out. I was having tendonitis here and my back and my neck, and since I started doing Reiki, I've healed a lot of those things. And whether it's through other changes in my lifestyle and also through, this balance that's kind of coming through my body, It's making me better at my job. It's making me happier. It's making me nicer to my staff.
Yay.
So hopefully, you know, it's something that I think everybody should explore and give a try, because it's really great.
It sounds exciting, and I'm hoping you offer a workshop. I'd love to.
Yeah,
come check that
stay
out.
tuned, because I'll have that master level certification in October and work with it a little bit, and then hopefully kind of start passing this on and paying it forward to other people.
Awesome. Oh, we're out of time.
Awesome.
Abby, thank you for being on the show today. I learned a lot, and I'm excited to come to your workshop when you offer that, because I think that'd be really cool. Thank you for watching the show. I'm Todd Hart. This has been The Holistic Way. Stay healthy, and until next time, we'll see you.